If I had to build fluency in English all over again, here is what I would do to get fluent faster and to enjoy the process. Hi everyone, I'm Stephanie, CEO of Live English. And if you're watching this, you're probably trying to get fluent in English. What we learn at school and university is unfortunately not enough to feel confident in English in our professional lives. Some might feel they should have invested more in their English when they were kids. Some others might regret they didn't understand how important it was for their career to get those English skills. In any case, it's never too late. If I had to start building fluency all over again, here's what I would do. If I could go back in time and start my English learning from scratch, I would do so many things differently. I would not rely solely on what the school system is giving us. Don't get me wrong. What we learn at school is important and that's what gives us a good basis. However, it's simply not enough. Even if you're a very serious student and you follow all the classes and you do all your homework, unfortunately, chances that by the end of your studies, you still won't feel confident using English in a professional context. Today, I'm sharing with you the exact roadmap I would follow to become fluent in English. And I'll share also the painful lessons I've learned along the way. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear, actionable plan to build real fluency in English. The kind that opens doors and lets you connect with the world. First, I'd like to share with you my own journey. Even though I loved English classes when I was young, and my school teachers were great, I soon realized that I had to go all in if I wanted to become fluent in English. Back in the days, I was in high school in France, and I understood that I needed more exposure to English than I had. I'm not that old, but back then we didn't have access to videos and magazines in English. So really, I had to go to a special shop that was selling paper versions of Time magazine or The Economist. It was 3 times the price, but I can tell you, it was worth it. It was my open door to the English-speaking world. One year, our teacher had the great idea to test our vocabulary every week. We would have this long list of words that we had to memorize, a category each week: furniture, means of transport, animals. It was pure torture. These words were completely abstract, and guess what? Most of these words evaporated from my memory within days. I was just asking for better English. I was lucky to attend a summer school in London. It was an amazing experience. 3 weeks in London. Wonderful. It just showed me how little I knew and how difficult it was for me to understand native speakers. A few weeks of classes and sightseeing were a nice dip in the pool, but unfortunately, not enough to make a significant difference to my English level. Progress felt painfully slow, and to be honest, quite boring. Compared to my classmates, I was doing okay, but when I looked at the real world, the gap was obvious. After university, I felt a strong urge to experience life in an English-speaking country. I went through a few job interviews in English, and that's when it hit me. My English was just average. That realization pushed me even harder to make the move. Deep down, I knew I had to go for it. After a lot of efforts, I finally landed an exciting job in Dublin, Ireland. I took the leap, and that decision became a turning point in my life. It took a few months before I started feeling truly comfortable communicating in English. But everything I had spent years learning at school, I surpassed in just a few months of real life experience. I wish I had started with this English learning routine. These 4 pillars have helped me improve my English faster than I ever thought possible. Pillar number 1, immersion. This is the foundation. Most people switch to their native language the second things get difficult. With the full immersion principle, you know that you're going to have to use English no matter what. Reading, for example. If a book was originally written in English, fiction or non-fiction, I would only read it in English. That's a principle. If the original language is English, I just read it in English. Movies. If it was made in English, I would only watch it in English. I would start with subtitles in English, not in my mother tongue, and then move without subtitles. Daily practice. I would devote at least 30 minutes every single day for deliberate English practice. This is holy time, no matter what happens outside. 30 minutes every day. Why? Because these rules force you out of your comfort zone. They build resilience and make English a habit. Pillar number 2, fuel your learning with passion. Don't go for generic materials. I'll invest in content that I'm genuinely passionate about than spend time reading stuff that really don't interest me. For me back then, it was those magazines, those expensive magazines. But now we have so many more choices. YouTube channels about cooking, beauty, tech, travel, podcasts on history, business, comedy, blogs or websites about your favorite sports team, fashion trends, hobbies, etc., etc. You get the point. Why is this key? Because when you're interested, your brain absorbs all this knowledge so much faster. Learning vocabulary, grammar, and natural phrasing becomes effortless. It stops feeling like studying, and you start feeling the language. You'll remember words because they're used in a context you care about or discussed by people you enjoy listening to. Pillar number 3, leverage grammar and natural absorption. This is where I wasted so much time. Trying to master every single grammar is overwhelming and unnecessary in the beginning. If I restarted, I'd focus on the high leverage grammar that unlocks most communication. That's when full immersion is really useful. You hear sentences used in everyday life and you start imitating people you speak with. It's especially true when learning about tenses. For example, once you've heard different situations where present perfect is used, then learning the rule about present perfect makes more sense. You have a better awareness of the language. Or phrasal verbs. There are thousands of phrasal verbs in English. If you have exposure to some of them in context, it's easier to use them again. I'd use grammar references only when a specific structure puzzles me in the context I'm hearing. Pillar number 4, proactive speaking. The secret to effective immersion is to actively use English. And you can create opportunities even if you don't live in an English-speaking country. What can you do? Watch the news in English. Switch your phone or computer settings to English. You get instant exposure. Join an online community like the Live English Club and talk about things you love. And of course, book one-on-one lessons with a native teacher. It creates accountability. It gives you targeted practice. And above all, you stay motivated in the long run. Consuming English is crucial. Like reading, listening to things in English, watching. That's your passive input. But you must balance it with active output. Reading articles out loud, even better. Or keeping a journal in English, or trying to write sentences or repeat phrases you've heard. Passive learning builds understanding. Active learning builds the ability to use the language. I feel that now you're motivated to spend more time watching stuff in English and practicing your English as much as you can. Intensity is great, but consistency really is what makes a big difference for long-term fluency. Your brain builds neural pathways through regular, repeated exposure. A massive 5-hour study session once a week is less effective than 30 minutes every single day. My ideal sustainable routine would weave English into the fabric of my daily life, even when I'm busy. In the morning, I could spend 10 to 15 minutes to read the news, the headlines, or a short article in English. During commuting time, I would listen to an English podcast or an audiobook. Then twice a week, I would schedule dedicated practice sessions to speak and use the vocabulary I learned and get exposure to the way native speakers talk. And I would get feedback and corrections on what I should pay attention to. Make it realistic and it won't be overwhelming. You will find these pockets of time and make English a natural part of your day. Find your sustainable sweet spot and stick to it. So, to wrap it up, if I was starting my English fluency journey today, this is the roadmap I would follow. Setting non-negotiable rules to force immersion. Learning through passion. Focusing on natural absorption of grammar and vocabulary. Proactive creating speaking opportunities. Balancing active and passive learning. And above all, staying consistent in my routine. Now it's your turn. What's the one specific change you're going to make to your English learning routine today, based on what we've discussed? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single one. Sharing your commitment makes it a real commitment. If you found this roadmap useful and helpful, please give it a thumb up. It really helps the channel. And don't forget to subscribe for more practical language learning tips and strategies. Thank you so much for watching. Keep practicing, stay consistent, and I'll see you in the next video.